FaZe Clan 16-11 over NAVI on the first map of this series in Mirage. Opening kills looking good, clutches looking okay, but more importantly, it's FaZe that are starting to steal the spotlight out of today, Bemis included. That's right, look at that beautiful play right there. It just seemed like he found himself in the right place at the right time with the right answers a lot of the time. And for FaZe Clan, they have the answer that is to NAVI of their own Mirage. My name is Trace, alongside of me are Jacob and Matthew. We're going to talk about this map a little bit more in depth. Jacob, what's your take, man?
My take is that it was a great game by FaZe Clan. I think NAVI didn't necessarily play bad. I think they lost out in a few clutch scenarios they probably should have won, and they could have pushed the game even closer than it was. I think FaZe Clan is working really well right now. They're being constantly proactive, constantly, pushing. NiKo tried to fight middle all the time. Brokey had a good game towards the B-bomb side together with Bemes, and overall, I think FaZe Clan were looking like a pretty sharp machine against NAVI.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that this was a very high-level game. Honestly, not that many mistakes, not that many flaws. It was an extremely high-level Counter-Strike, and the clutch truly were the one dimension that decides it all. And when we think about FaZe, I think I've done a bad job at underlying how much clutch power there is in that lineup. Honestly, the likes of NiKo, Coldzera, to me, they're in the top clutchers that they are in Counter-Strike. And when you have a player like Brokey, when you have Bemis actually showing up and winning also these clutches, then suddenly you end up with a 16-11. So clutches were in the name of the game.
And it sort of makes sense too, I guess, if you just look at, it's a surface level. If we look at like a paper test right here, right? We look at FaZe Clan and we look at the players on the lineup. You're saying these players in terms of hitting shots, and I'm saying it in terms of just veterancy within Rain, Coldzera, and NiKo. How many matches combined do you think they've played?
A lot, and that I'm glad you brought it up, right? Because I don't think they were the stars of this half. I think Brokey and Bemes were definitely, especially on the CT side, they were the main factors. Brokey, we saw him being involved in 2 or 3 clutches, winning it out at the latest stages of the game. NAVI was trying to fight back and trying to make this comeback going for them. Brokey said no. Bemes as well. We saw how we completely shut down the B-bomb side in the very last round as well. There was just so much stuff going on from the 2 youngsters that even though you have that veterancy going on for NiKo, Rain, and the rest of the guys over there, it wasn't about them. It was about the youngsters coming into the lineup and actually making an impact and being the deciding factor against the likes of Simple and Electronic. It was a very great game for FaZe Clan, and it must give them a lot of confidence going into Dust 2.
Yeah, let's start to talk about Dust 2, because no cap, this could be where FaZe put NAVI away.
Yeah, he definitely could. I'm just looking at the numbers here. I'm trying to crunch the realities of this, and FaZe, they look dangerous on Dust 2. They absolutely could, and we're talking in a universe in which A2O is definitely on the cards. If FaZe Clan are able to put some sort of a similar performance, I mean, they've recently beat G2 twice. They beat Fnatic on Dust 2 as well. They beat Gods and Spirit. That's a little bit below in terms of tier. But they definitely can play the map. So if you're NAVI, now is the time to wake up. Now is the time to, have your stuff together, in the lack of another word, and push us to a 3rd map, because I know they can. I know NAVI can do it.
He wanted to say shit. He wanted to say shit. He just didn't do it.
It's just my brain.
Well, hold on. Excuse his French, okay? Excuse his French. No, you're exactly right, Jacob. Let's talk a little bit about Dust 2. Do you think this one ends in 2?
I'm afraid so. I think NAVI, they'll have to step it up. But then again, Simple and Dust 2, remember Katowice when he just completely owned Astralis? If he can pull up another show like that, then FaZe Clan, they'll move on to a 3rd map.
Well, let's find out. We're going to have to sit back and wait just a few more minutes. I'm sure we're going to be graced by the presence of Lily, but not Sarah, sadly. So we're going to go to a break. We come back, and we're going to have what is Dust 2, the second, and could potentially be the final map for NAVI here at the DreamHack Master Spring 2020.
Welcome back to the action that is NAVI taking on FaZe here in the lower bracket. Yeah, you heard me right, it's lower bracket. We're fighting for the finals right now. The winner of this game is going to be going on to take big to battle for that final place against G2 here at the DreamHack Masters. We're a map up right now for FaZe, Harry. Can NAVI bounce back on Dust 2, their pick?
I hope so, right? I want this to be a series that goes all 3, because it really did deliver back on Mirage, and it was pretty neck and neck until the moment it wasn't. And FaZe were able to get it closed out. I'm hoping that with Dust 2 as Navi's pick, right, a map that usually they're very, very proficient at, this should be the bounce back for Na'Vi and a lock-in of a third. I think as well, the fact that you got the duo of Simple and Electronic looking so good at the minute, a lot of this for me is just going to be hinging on whether or not the individuals outside of that little duo can keep stepping up. There you go, I said it eventually. Yeah, because, you know, like Perfecto, we touched upon him. He had a pretty rough game there over on Mirage. Hopefully we can see a bit of resurgence from him on Dust. I think that, you know, you already had like Flamey showing up in a pretty big capacity, you know, getting a good few openers that he needed to get, right? He was very, very good at like the Palace duels and stuff like that. So if we can see him keeping this performance up alongside Simple and Electronic, I like to believe that this is enough to get Na'Vi to a third map. But FaZe, they looked really good on Mirage, and everyone seems to be feeling it today. The kill distribution on that side of the board was a lot smaller than that of Na'Vi, and it just didn't feel like it came out to the individuals quite as much. So Dust 2, second map in this series, and Hugo, it's all underway.
It is indeed. It's crazy to think BMAS was the top fragger in the server, that's including against Electronic and Simple at the end of that first map. So 23 kills, 13 deaths for him. Quite a performance, least deaths as well. What a madman. And he's going to continue his madness, running right up middle, killing a man or trying to kill a man at top mid. Flamey will die. There's more in the tunnels. Na'Vi are going for a B play. They were trying to fake something out. Flamey's smoke never sees the light of day. And now Na'Vi are going to run into middle. Perfecto trying to find that entry, but look how close FaZe already are. Worth noting, it's not the reverse doors, it's old Dust 2. We're playing on that old patch for the time being, for the remaining 3 days of DreamHack. It's going to be a bomb plant here for Electronic and, well, Boomich rather, and FaZe pushed out of the site.
This looks to be the pistol for Na'Vi. For Rain and BMAS, they're just not getting offered a kill, and they need one if they wanted to get back into that round, and they know it's kind of over in spite of the nice start that they had. Electronic gets 3 in this pistol round, and that's enough for Na'Vi to just walk away with it. Attempt to hold on to the armor here for FaZe, but Na'Vi are actually hounding them down, and they're coming in through these mid doors. Rain gets 1, but Simple immediately cancels them out. BMAS at least might survive, and he gets to hold on to the armor. So the force buy in this round can have a little bit more behind it if FaZe do want to go for it.
Harry, we played the new Dust 2 a couple of games yesterday. I enjoyed it. I think the new doors certainly looking pretty good. It allows you to, you know, play like the old days. You can solo B easier. You can retake the site. You don't have to have that awful like 50-50 gamble when you walk through the door on a retake. Like, are they car or are they site or are they both? You can now clear the car from the mid side. So, yeah, a lot more versatility, and I think it's a big change. Any strong opinions? Any thoughts on the doors?
Yeah, you know, I think they're gonna make the map feel like it can like culminate in these B plays a lot less. And I also think as well that because now you can kind of like solo B a little bit easier, and also like have a player in mid able to support a lot easier. I think it's gonna like mean that you don't have to, well, you see like right now FaZe have double stacked into the B bomb site. This is something that I feel like you won't need to do as much as to just dedicate these 2 players into B like this. Instead, you could have someone like NiKo floating around in mid, right, fall into a solo B hold, and then that frees up a whole extra man to be elsewhere on the map. So yeah, I'm imagining we're going to see it kind of play like how you used to have 3 players at this A site, 1 in mid, 1 in B, and it'll feel a bit like that again. But I don't know. I can't wait to see what the pros bring to the table with these new old doors in play at B.
Oh, nice trading in middle for Electronic. He had a great pistol, and he's followed up in the second. Cold knows there's a man at the back of the tunnels, but he also knows he's being wrapped from the window. Nice grenade. Good shot, though. Cold trying to stand tall above the box. He's not going to be able to see a whole lot from here. BMAS coming in from mid with a huge kill. Onto Electronic. Flamey alone. The spam does connect somewhat, but Cold is just above, and Flamey can't find the kill. He must be so confused right now, and BMAS will remove his head. What a round from FaZe. They win the force buy. It's BMAS with the scout. It's Cold dropping this 1D here. That was massive onto Perfecto. And yeah, just great stuff. What's this second shot like? Bang! BMAS. He's a real talent in this team right now. And Na'Vi have got to have their wits about them. They've got to watch their backs, because losing to a force and having to buy up in the third yourself, they are so late out of spawn. They probably weren't ready to lose that round.
Force is back in for NAVI, and they've got these 2 smokes in it and a collection of flashbangs. I feel like this could be, I mean, there's 2 ways you can go about it, right? They're going to throw these mid smokes, and I was wondering if that means we were going to see a mid to B. They throw the 2 that land either side of mid, and now they actually use that as a fake to try and get into the A bomb site. But FaZe haven't rotated. They haven't really had to, and so there's still a lot of players here at this A bomb site. NiKo's one of them, and he's nailing players on the cross with this scout. Still a 2-on-3, still possible for NAVI. And Boomich Deegan down 1 is going to help out. Closing the distance here on the FaZe side. And Cold's gotten up through CT. He's got Brokey alongside him. Boomich's Deagle isn't able to deliver the kills needed there. And the weapon's going to be saved. They get the M4 and AK out of the round. Over on the FaZe side, they get that conversion. Bomb plant for NAVI, but that's ultimately not going to carry much weight here for this T side, as it will just be an eco.
That's the go-to for getting the plant right on Dust. If you want to not guarantee a plant, but get yourself a pretty high chance of finding it, you rush short as a unit with pistols. And NiKo, he gets so many opportunities, man. He fires like 8 scout shots. He only kills 1 dude, but just shows how easy that is for FaZe to retake against the pistols. NiKo's now upgraded to the orb. He's going to fight mid. They're already out palm tree. Oh, he's been spotted. He does escape just about. Rain blinded on long, finding electronic. It's more pistols out for NAVI, so shouldn't be hugely fearful if you're FaZe. Ooh, almost closing it. Simple will show him no, or tell him no rather, and FaZe will eventually get the round on the lock and key. 3-1. I want to see if this double orb comes through. Maybe not in this round, but moving into more rifle rounds later in the CT side. FaZe, they love that double orb back on Mirage. They have so many players in this team that can wield that weapon. And for now, obviously 1, but let's see if that changes moving forward. Simple's got his.
NiKo full blinded there at long, and neither player actually seeing each other. He backs on off into the site, and he's given a bit of time to do it. NAVI, they get control of long. They might look to get Simple set up in the pit with this AWP. But FaZe, they've already got their suspicions about this round. They play pretty heavily in towards this A bomb site, even with Cold Zera in position to rotate in middle if needed. So if NAVI do commit to this A play, they're going to be running into quite the resistance from the FaZe side. They'll even flash a player in over here towards short, and BMAS locks down this side of the map. Electronic, I don't think he was spotted there on that little jump, but they know he's in lower. He hasn't been very discreet about it. An Xbox smoke is going to, I think it actually missed by the looks of things.
Might have been blocked. He was climbing up when it went down. I don't know, but pretty close. Ooh, the flash up again. BMAS and Rain going for it. They've dropped the bomb, Harry. They've pretty much won the round here. Dead to right. It's NAVI in a 2-on-5. Simple, he's got the AWP on long, but NiKo, he's not giving him the kill right now. He's just holding for the walk up. Once that smoke fades, he will be able to fight, but Simple is tucked right now, and 20 seconds, he might not move from this position. Seeming like a FaZe round all over it. NAVI might want to keep these guns. It's not like they're going to be full of loss bonus anyway. So Perfecto shifting back will escape, and Simple too. I say Perfecto escapes. Let's let him escape before I say it, because very dangerous crossover middle. Luckily, no one from FaZe wants to risk taking a fight. They know they've already won the round, and they will just tuck in. 4-1. This is a great lead for FaZe. A strong start to a map where NAVI have picked this one, and they're already down in the series, right? Not that I'm like sitting here going, oh, guaranteed 2-0 for FaZe by any means, but NAVI, they can't afford to, have to be coming back on their own map pick up against elimination for the tournament, right? They need to be commanding. They need to be leading like we know they can. And right now, FaZe are showing us what they're made of. Damn, I believe it.
Wow. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, and it wasn't really a problem early on.
Screen.
It wasn't really a problem earlier on, right? Like Perfecto had 4 kills at halftime, but NAVI still got an 8-7 half, and like they were competitive at the start. But it's when you get into crunch time, it's when you get into the latter stage of the map where if your players haven't recovered, Simple Electronic, they can only bail you out for so long. Flamey can only get so many entries, so yeah, you need them to step up. Electronic, no armored orb, he's going to throw that back, but he wants to pick off the spawn. Nice shot from him, giving it back to Simple, and there's a chance for NAVI to upset this round.
Yeah, triple B hold from FaZe, and this means they're kind of in a position where they have to go aggressive into these tunnels. That's exactly what they're going to do here. Hold a bit more of an aggressive line, and I'll push in as 3. Now, we'll catch Electronic here, and he never sees any more than this one player pushing. Perfecto is going to go back for the trade, or at least attempt it. However, will he be ready for just how many players reside here on the FaZe side? They actually up and leave coldzera in this position alone. Smoke goes down at mid, and that's going to facilitate the cross back from NiKo. There's a lot of faith put in Rain at the A bomb site right now. He's here alone, and he's hearing flashes come in over towards long. This is going to prompt the rotation from FaZe. NiKo now hears the footsteps up through Catwalk, and him and Rain, they get 2 kills between them in a matter of seconds. Simple with this AWP looking to get the trade, but he can't find Rain in the site. Rain's just being a nuisance, and Flamey is coming in on this long wrap in the meantime, but NiKo's got it dead to rights from CT. Simple 1v4 required here. Rotations have come through, and Cold is up on Catwalk. He's going to get that kill. FaZe find a 5th round.
Yeah, I find it interesting that NAVI have no interest in trying to deal with this B aggression. Like you said, they only spot the AWP, but Cold was hidden behind the smoke the entire time. And Perfecto, he looks at it, and then he realizes that considering he's on his own, yeah, it's maybe best to fall out of that position. Nothing wrong there. But you know, NAVI, what that aggressive FaZe setup does is allow FaZe to stack the A site. NiKo rotates very quickly towards CT. He gets the info for Rain that they're coming Catwalk. There's a double setup on A, and FaZe are just in the right place at the right time because of that push. So yeah, like, you know, NAVI knew it. NAVI knew they were walking into a stack, but didn't really seem to have a problem with it. Well, FaZe showed them why they should. It's going to be a double AWP, Harry. We were waiting for it. Brokey not taking it this time. That's normal on Dust. We don't see Brokey AWP on this map, on the CT side at least, not very often. So NiKo's going to be donning that as the primary AWP, so Cold coming in as second. But, I mean, NiKo, he's done some filthy things on this map. So honestly, I like that change for FaZe, right? Like, you think about teams saying, oh yeah, you know, it's never lasted long where you've had, you know, teams pick up AWPers for certain maps. The only good examples I can think of right now are this with NiKo on Dust 2, and like how we see, you know, Nork will AWP over Twist on NIP on Nuke. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I like what FaZe have done with this team, and considering they only just added a player, if they were to win this series, I mean, yeah, there's a huge potential for this roster to go far in this tournament. BMAS, oh dear, gotta be careful. The flash is good, but they're gonna come in after, and Electronic stalls the peak by a second, wins that fight. NAVI moving up to A with a furious pace.
NiKo is very, very close on the other side of this smoke. NAVI are trying to boost over the top of it, and Electronic is going to remove NiKo as a result. Rain trying to hold the cross, and he's only good for the 1 kill. Cold and Brokey, they might just have to save, and they're already backing out. They want nothing to do with this round. So NAVI are going to find themselves a second here as the bomb plant comes in with 8 seconds left to spare. FaZe are just trying to stay alive at this point in time. One thing I think that's interesting is that both of these teams have played this map 3 times here at DreamHack thus far. FaZe, they're undefeated on it. And NAVI, they've won 1 of those 3 matchups that they've played. So FaZe, you know, being off to a good lead and with history leading in their favor, it's a bit of a scary spot for NAVI, who are having to try and bounce back to keep their tournament life alive here.
I'll take get, and with 4 alive as well, that's the most important part for NAVI. If they were taking rounds by the skin of their teeth, FaZe would be able to reset very quickly with the bank they've built up here. But no dice, not yet at least. FaZe going to roll them once more with another reinvestment, but NAVI have everything they need and more. Flamey 0-6, he was getting all the entries on Mirage, so once he starts to fire off, maybe that could be a saving grace for NAVI, who are down by 3. Fast out long is Flamey with the flashes. FaZe are late to the corner by design, though. They're going to go out late with the Molotovs, and Flamey has to extinguish them with a smoke. He's taking fight, but he won't win them as FaZe have so many players here crossing the pit. Brokey putting up another, and they're just going to smoke off the choke point, send NAVI packing. FaZe with the man advantage and all the map control.
Yeah, so it's back into a late B for Na'Vi. They tried their hand at long and it really hasn't gone their way. Now, FaZe, what's the response going to be here? Because the long pressure has died right down, and FaZe, they're already having some feelings as to how this round might pan out. You'll see that Brokey's begun a rotation through CT. NiKo's here as well. Cold, if he gets so much as 1 kill in this B site hold, he's done enough to set FaZe up for the retake. And there's the first man removed. Boomich goes down, and with it, the bomb was dropped as well. Cold still remaining hidden, and he's visible there to the tunnels. Electronic's going to pick that kill up, and now the push looks to come on through. Smoke in the door, going to deny NiKo any vision, but he's keen to take this peek, and he strikes simple from the tally. Electronic now 1v3, starts to tap in the numbers here. He's going to go above and beyond in this clutch for Na'Vi. Removes the first man, but Brokey finds him on the back of that flashbang. And FaZe, they'll grab the defuse, they hold that B bomb site, and they'll find a 6th round.
Yeah, look like Electronic got stuck on that big box there. And Cold, I mean, I like the position. It's a cool off angle. You know, if Na'Vi rush it, you're a bit screwed. But if they peek it like that 1 by 1 and they try and take fights in the site, it's a good off angle. But I've never seen anyone stick around there after getting 1. He turns around, his backpack gives up his position. Na'Vi will bang him out of the spot. But yeah, I like the idea. Maybe if he's facing, he can get 2 there. Either way, 6-2 to FaZe. They deal with a B play. Cold only needed 1, as you said, and now Na'Vi, well, they need as many as they can get right now. Pressure on mid. This has been a position FaZe have left early on, almost every round. They had NiKo here early, but other than that, he's not really touched his spot. So mid is very open, and once Na'Vi realize that, they might try and start exploiting the mid to Bs. It's open in this round because FaZe have set up 2 towards that B bomb site. They've got long, so they don't need to fear about that. BMAS has taken it with a smoke, and FaZe have re-smoked the catwalk. So yeah, just a good CT round right now. They've got the info. Mid's open, but it's being spotted. NiKo's got an AWP on B. Oh, sorry. NiKo's got the AWP on A. And yeah, FaZe, a minute on the clock. Just sit back, relax, and wait for Na'Vi to come to you.
Oh, they flash rain in at short. He didn't see anyone on that peak, and he's literally a second off of the timing, because now Na'Vi are in this position. NiKo's starting to aggress, and flash rains out from rain down in CT. NiKo looking for this line, and he does get simple. Electronic now moving in to try and get this trade, and he's going to catch rain, attempting to go aggressive there. Na'Vi aren't going to commit through catwalk. They throw in this utility, but they back away, and now look like they might try and reside at this B bomb site. Still 2 players here for FaZe. And on the back of not seeing any of this cat aggression, it's kind of become all too clear what the game plan is for Na'Vi. Electronic on this mid lurk has to do a lot, and NiKo beating him there on the angle. Cold holding down B, still has a second man here. And with time being so low, Brokey and BMAS, they've got that round in the palm of their hands. They take it. FaZe will get themselves a 7th. Na'Vi really trailing behind right now.
Yeah, I love that reposition from NiKo, the aggression with the AWP up on Cat. It's so dangerous, and Rain dies trying to do it right after, but NiKo, he kills Simple firstly, that's huge. But then that sends Na'Vi packing. They know FaZe have an angle, and because of that angle presented by NiKo, FaZe early rotate. They were already heading towards B. They were already in CT before Na'Vi had the tunnels, because Na'Vi went quiet on catwalk at 20 seconds, and FaZe go, what are the chances they're just going to run up Cat with 10 seconds left? Pretty unlikely. They're probably repositioning, and it was the right read. Right now, a man down though. FaZe not out of the woods just yet. Electronic, as this smoke fades, is going to be able to find NiKo. Good shot, and looking for a second. Oh, the Galil, it's a messy gun, but he'll get away with his life at the very least. A 5-on-3 for Na'Vi, back in control of this round at a bare minimum.
Yeah, and FaZe are immediately leaning heavy towards this B bomb site. That's because Na'Vi, in a lot of these situations where they've been like this, they have just grouped up and tried to hit B. And RV, they moved that bomb back through the tunnels all the way through T-spawn. It's looking like it's going to culminate in a very late A play here. So FaZe, if they keep these positions, this will just be a save at the end of this round.
Yeah, and that's honestly fine by FaZe in this one, right? Like, they've got a bit of money, but not really enough. So this save is pretty important for them. Rain, he can afford to hang around. They can lose one here if they want, but honestly, I don't think he'll go for anything. Blasé, yeah, he's going to peel back to B, give Na'Vi the round here. Definitely the right call for FaZe Clan, especially considering they get away with an AK as well. Bonuses. No AWP though, sadly. Lost back on Catwalk. And in the hands of Boomich. So there it is, Na'Vi up to 3 now. We know they can be slow starting. We know they like to take a while at times, and you know the second half is when they can really come alive. But honestly, I expected a little bit more on the T side from them. Credit to FaZe, but Na'Vi's definitely going to need to warm up into this half before it's over. Their T side is their better side on this map, so waiting to see if that will show through today. And FaZe, I mean, they love this map anyway. That's why we talked about it prior to the game, saying that like FaZe seriously won this map, Vito. That overpass ban, I think, was very smart from them. It was a map that even when they had Olaf in the team, they kind of struggled on a lot. And, you know, one that Na'Vi is certainly going to know what they're doing on. So FaZe ending up on this map, on a map they're on a 4-win streak on, you know, beating the likes of Spirit. This is their best map. G2, this is their best map. Fnatic, okay, this is not their best map, but even so, those are good wins for FaZe Clan, and adding Na'Vi to that tally and eliminating them with a 2-0 would be huge.
B-Master's got himself a 1-for-1 trade over at Long. And Na'Vi, they look to get out through this long side, but they've spent a lot of time doing this. And while this has happened, FaZe have once again pushed the extremities at B. Boomich saw it, but this is once again going to allow FaZe a heavier A presence on the back of having a player up here in the tunnels. I love how Cold plays this tunnels aggression as well. Yeah. He just holds like this little daring off angle and is able to watch both CT spawn and lower. And now we can see Brokey beginning that rotation back over towards mid. While this has gone on, FaZe have grabbed themselves some cap control. That's an Xbox smoke throwing from long. That's kind of nifty there from Na'Vi.
But FaZe have checked it, right? NiKo's already on cat, so he looked out mid and he saw nothing. So Na'Vi or FaZe know it's either a B play, Cold's cleared that out, or it's a long play. And well, what would you believe? What would you imagine? Rain, he has uncovered the terrible truths. He's found 2. Brokey through the smoke finding Flamey, and Simple, best in the world, best in the server, but can he show us why?
Yeah, this is a very tall order, even for a man like Simple. He's going to start to plug in the numbers. Brokey coming up through CT on this wrap. Off of NiKo is short-sided. Simple's looking for this fight, but he can't find that one-on-one. Brokey's going to pick it up. Defuse comes on in. FaZe getting 8th. A bomb plant for Na'Vi with the loss bonus being where it is means that money is great still for Na'Vi over on the T side, but they need to start finding some rounds on the back of it. And you look at the scoreboard and it's just setting a very worrying tone. Electronic has more kills than all of Na'Vi put together at this point in time. Well, I say that. The same kills as all of Na'Vi put together, but still you know, like, you think about how important this duo of Electronic and Simple is. And it's never good when Electronic is out fragging everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we've not had a lot of AWPs for Simple. He's got it back here, but yeah, the money hasn't been great. I mean, look at the rounds. It tells enough of a tale. Simple AWPing mid, but the smoke is down. Unless he goes for a random shot, I don't think he's going to be taking down this AWP on the other side. Got 2 of them for FaZe, NiKo and Cold, both cross-firing mid, funnily enough, but that will be left to NiKo as Cold retreats to the B-bomb site. Once again, waiting for the eventual B play that will come through at some point in this half, right? It's been some time. Na'Vi have only gone there in like the 3-on-5s, but you know Na'Vi, they like one of these rounds, they've got to have a mid to B or you know, a B out the gate from their show from their setup. They've never done that once, so only be as like a fallback contingency plan. I would say abuse the B site while you still can, because this is one of the last games Na'Vi are going to be playing with the old doors, and it gets a lot harder after that. Flashes into A, Rain stuck on the site. His position is going to be known here by Bootmich, but oh, that's the bomb. Is it going to tumble? No, it stays on Cat, but it's still down for FaZe, and they can full rotate off the back of that info.
Oh, the flashes are good. They set up Rain for his second kill before he gets dealt with. And so FaZe emerging with the man advantage.
Oh,
Cold,
no.
only the tag, somehow, some way. Flamey lives to tell the tale down in mid and gets his first kill in the round. Perfecto is going to follow up there with a frag onto BMAS. And Na'Vi, they've retaken this man advantage. They sit in the 3-on-2 with a bomb down. Roki in through Cat, NiKo wrapping long. FaZe setting up to go for this retaker. At the very, very least, give it a look in. Two players at ramp. They're both spotting long. NiKo swings on into that crossfire. I say crossfire, the double peak rather. And Brokey decides just to save at this point in time. Na'Vi, they will get a fourth. They turn that round on its head, and that goes from looking pretty dire to suddenly a victory found here for Na'Vi.
Brokey can save an AWP here. There's one dropped on Cold's body in middle, so that's available for FaZe Clan. But yeah, Na'Vi, important round, a crucial round, and a lot of it coming from Perfecto with, you know, the smoke on the Molotov, a quick push into the site, and he gets rid of the long player there for FaZe, really leaving them outside of A and leaving it down to the rotations of Brokey and Co, who can't get it done. So Na'Vi up to 4. Slow and steady wins a race. More money to play with than ever before, and FaZe starting to run dry. So this round for Na'Vi, this round could mean an 8-7 half if they find it. FaZe will get broke, so a lot of pressure on Na'Vi to perform, but we know they can. Simple takes the bomb early B, but he'll leave. He'll go back through T-spawn and join his team here. So maybe Na'Vi, who have had a lot of success with crossing up Cat into A, are going to go back to this.
Oh, almost for NiKo through the smoke. Not quite able to deal with these Cat players. Fake mid to B smokes getting thrown in from Na'Vi over here at Catwalk. And Flamey going to keep this position down in the lower tunnels.
Oh, that's the first kill, the big one coming from Rain. He's actually still alive. He's not on the site where he's been naded in the past. He's hiding on the ramp, and this buys time for FaZe, and most importantly, keeps him in the lead. Cole with another electronic will find Rain. The lurkers lost for Na'Vi, so they need to win the fights on the site, and electronic, he just won't stop. Second kill, Simple. He's not going to get anything done. He has the bomb right now. He needs to go and join his team. He is late to this one, and that's giving FaZe time to set up on long. A wrap round for Cold Zero. He's in position. And last time NiKo peeked this one, he got double peeked, he got overwhelmed. So Cole gets the info, there's 2 there, and he'll tell his team to work on it. He doesn't want to die, he's on 13 health, so Cole has to wait for his team. But that long position is so valuable, so such a shame to see the low HP player in this spot. There's not a lot Cole can do from this one. He's got to try and fake out a fight. That's a good smoke. It turns electronic around, he kills 2 with it. Cole with a massive round, and NiKo finds the loss to retake for FaZe. Love that patience there. It looked like the clock could have been FaZe's undoing, but Cole doesn't wait forever. He gives it a few seconds. He lets Na'Vi discount his position, and then he swings out for a double. FaZe up to 9. And Na'Vi, and that was the round, right? As we said, that was a round Na'Vi could have broken FaZe. It's done the opposite. They get out with 3 alive. And the AWP. Na'Vi on the other side of things, their last economy left in the tank. And this, you know, at one point could have been an 8-7. Now 11-4 is seeming even more likely. Russell, are you with me?
I am indeed, Hugo.
That's good news.
I scared the technical gremlins away by playing the gremlin song. And now that they're gone, Boomich tries to pick up the pace over here. Now, while this has gone on, Na'Vi do get into the B site, but the flashes allow Cold to remove another. Brokey up in the window gives that kill away, but FaZe, they're not waiting around. They are just pushing into this site, looking to deny this bomb plant. Leaves it all on Simple. He's given a chance there, but isn't able to find the kill, and Rain is actually going to deal with him, aggressing through the smoke. It's 10 on the board for FaZe as they look to lay this first half to bed very favorably in their fashion. It's going to be best case scenario now for NAVI is 5-10, and with the money in a bit of a precarious situation, Flamey drops an AWP over, AK's aboard up on everyone else. I say everyone else, like kind of everyone else, but also not really.
We were waiting for that B rush, man, and it comes through. And NAVI finally give it to us in the 14th round, and FaZe just wrecked the man so quick at realizing that that was a commitment, and we haven't had a single one of them all game. So FaZe, the fact that they can be so, you know, ready for these A plays round after round, and yet have immediate B rotates and kill NAVI before they even plant, excellent. Simple, I've never seen Simple so shut out of a game in the playoffs. Like, he has 4 kills right now. Every time he's in a clutch area, every time he's in a 1-on-3, a round that Simple would often win, FaZe have double peaked him. They've just suffocated him. They've not let him have the room, and that's just been such a good CT side, man. 11 rounds potentially here for FaZe. Simple 4-9. This is a rarity, and if anything, it's just even more impressive for FaZe. Can they take us over the line? Can they find 11 in the last here? Boomage, is that like a doors mid to B smoke coming in from spawn? Yeah, that's pretty sick. He's trying to fake it out though. It's a long take for NAVI late.
Yeah, but down here in the pit, there's a man going by the name of BMAS, and he's not a fan of giving up long. However, he doesn't have much of a say in this round, and Rain tried to go aggressive through this long smoke. Ooh. Leaves NiKo here alone. He does get bested. Electronics already up through Cat, and he's looking to take this round by storm. Brokey needs a 1v5, and it's not going to happen with everyone trying to cross. NAVI, they've salvaged a 5th round at the end of the first half of play. Is that enough for them to bounce back, however? Or will this be the 2-0 for FaZe? You're going to have to join us after a quick break to find out. This second half is going to be great, so don't go anywhere.
This is your door. I'm walking alone. I'm going home.
FaZe Clan in control of the map of the series and of the lower bracket, just 6 rounds away from eliminating Natus Vincere from the tournament here. It's DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. We're in Europe and we're in Dust 2. It's looking like a fast B play for FaZe Clan in this pistol round. They want to put a stop to the map, but NAVI, 3 on the other side, and a missed flashbang. It's going to bounce off of BMAS here. They've got to commit, but they've got nothing behind it. This should be NAVI's round through. Look at Simple on the flank. He's got to kill. BMAS and Brokey finding double openers, but the bomb's been dropped. It's pandemonium. Simple trying to restore this map, trying to restore this series, but he's going to get taken down, leaving Electronic and B. They want nothing to do with it. They stop in the tunnels and wait.
What a beginning to this round. What a weird one. Electronic's gone aggressive now, trying to find these players. And, Brokey's going to hold the line. It's another 2v2 victory for BMAS and Brokey over Simple and Electronic as they win this pistol round. And that there could make all the difference. When you think about how much went wrong for FaZe and how much went right in that read from NAVI, it's astonishing that FaZe are able to recover and find that pistol round to lock in an 11th. And now they are set up for a quick second half of play. If they find this conversion, they're 12-5 up, and then the rifles are going to come through for NAVI. And suddenly, you're in this spot where there's what, 1 or 2 rifle rounds left in play for the NAVI side. That's a great spot to be in if you're FaZe, and with no force buy in this round, because you don't really want to run that risk if you're NAVI. There is a very good chance that this 12th is almost guaranteed.
Yeah, I can't believe NAVI read that. They stack it, they flank it, and they still lose it, man. It's just pistol rounds. Oh dear. They can give and they can take, and in this case, it's taken a real blow for NAVI. FaZe Clan just holding, just waiting, as NAVI are going to be the ones to have to give them a hand, give them a kill. BMAS holds B, spots Flamey, but right now FaZe are creeping up catwalk to A. Simple, he's on the other side. You don't want to give this guy a gunfight, and they won't. They fall right out of it. Where are FaZe ending up here? The fact they give up that cat control, but they also leave B, so it's probably going to end A. They might just flash out long late here, but only a couple of bits of utility. Got to be very sparing with what they have. Luckily, it's not like NAVI have weaponry, and I think FaZe have ascertained that as well. So smoke on cat, no flash on long. They contact it. Boomich jumps for the info, but now that info is in the hand of FaZe. They can grenade him, they can fight him, and they'll do both. Brokey with the flash, BMAS with the kills, Electronic stuck in the site, and BMAS with 3. It's a done deal here for FaZe Clan. Flamey, he gets 1, but that's all he'll find in the round. FaZe Clan just keep it up. This is not the game I was expecting here, Harry. Absolutely not the game I was expecting.
Well, this is one of these few remaining rifle buys that NAVI have to work with. Cold Zero with a fast play out through long. The flashes leave him blind. And that's going to give the kill over to NAVI. They take an early man advantage. They smoke off the long doors, and that might keep FaZe at bay. They're going to boost the man up to hold on to long. That's NiKo.
Nope.
Well, maybe not.
Brokey's still outside of B. Notice that bomb is going there. FaZe are looking to put a bit of pressure on Cat and then drop into a late B play, but I think Electronic is a step ahead. He's in CT already. Rain doesn't throw the smoke, maybe realizing he wants to save it for the mid to B instead. But he will be the only man going there if that's the case, because we've got 3 in the tunnels right now. Rain won't even look to join them. Re-smoke at B for NAVI coming at a crucial time. FaZe, not a lot they can do about that. They really shouldn't push through. They should wait it out at least until it's nearly ended. Flamey even has a Molotov, so FaZe, they need to go straight after this one, or Flamey will get that down in time. He's got it out in his hands right now. There it is. FaZe have to beat it. They got to go anyway. Perfecto in the corner, and the smoke lands on it. He will just mop them up. Oh dear, churning up these FaZe Clan members. Perfecto with 3 before he's eventually put down, and Rain is left in a clutch that may be a bit too difficult.
Yeah, there's no flashes for NAVI, which gives Rain a little bit more room to work with here in this 1-on-3, but he's getting spammed through the door, and Simple is going to finish it off from that position. So NAVI, they win the first rifle on rifle round. They need a couple more of them, though, if they want to turn this game around. Nice little hold from Perfecto and Flamey. FaZe just committing through that smoke. And with it, now they're back onto NiKo here. So a chance for NAVI at least to start to recover and stumble back to their feet somewhat here. Rain gets out long, but not for long. It's very short-lived. NAVI looking to lay these pistols to rest nice and quickly.
Yeah, shouldn't be too much of a task, and I think NAVI, they're probably breathing a sigh of relief here as they realize that FaZe are on NiKo. Right, just another round that they can, you know, hopefully sweep under the rug and put another number on the board, get one step closer to that third map of Nuke. Ooh, run boost for FaZe. They want to go supersonic, full force. Oh, they're flashed. Roki doesn't know. Oh dear, I think the player below him actually ran first before he should have, but he was blind. And yeah, FaZe, they're just going to commit as a unit. Why not just run into the gunfight? And well, as you can imagine, Harry, not too nice.
Nah, but we weren't expecting much there from FaZe. Now we have another buy, and this is where things will get exciting. The tac pause called on in for FaZe. They're heading into this round knowing that the last thing they want is any sort of resurgence here for NAVI. You don't want these guys to start to find their footing again. So how are they going to go about beating this one? I feel like we don't see them go back to long. I think NAVI, they've really set a precedent of putting a lot of players here early on, and that's something that FaZe have seen round after round now.
Yeah, FaZe don't have an AWP either, nor do NAVI, but yeah, it's interesting. Money not quite there yet. NAVI could have had it, but they opt against it. He's going for long. He's going to commit to FaZe. They want to send a message, and well, it's going to get received. NAVI eating bullets, but BMAS on fire will perish. And so long is actually not controlled by FaZe. Little do they know, they can just walk through this smoke, but they don't know that. And so they won't do that. NAVI still have Simple hidden at car, waiting for the commitment that will never come. And in a 3-on-3, this is massively favoring FaZe. NAVI are completely split up. They cannot trade any of these kills. So really, you know, getting one from either of these players is good, but as soon as a CT gets a double kill, that's when, you know, NAVI probably win the round. Flamey, he's got the first. Is there the trade? No. And right there, right then, that might just be done. NAVI in a 3-on-1. It's Brokey alone walking into Perfecto. Game, Harry. It's getting close. It's getting tight. It's warming up. 3 in a row for NAVI. A second eco in the half for FaZe Clan. And maybe this game wasn't a lock-in after all by any means, as it shouldn't have been. It's NAVI's pick. FaZe are going to have to rely on a follow-up rifle round as they have but a smoke and pistols in this one. NiKo probably going to throw the cat smoke here, if not a mid to B. Either of those are the best bet right now for FaZe. Just charge as a 5-man unit and try and overwhelm, try and get guns. If you can get a bomb plant, suddenly there's a chance, but it's easier said than done. Flashes into middle. Flamey gets no info off of that, and FaZe are grouping for a B take. NiKo is going to smoke mid to B, but that just leaves these tunnel players walking into a very likely massacre. We need someone to hit the 1D here on Perfecto, or he can get multiple kills.
Yeah, he spots the players in tunnels. That mid to B smoke comes in, but Cole does land the 1D that was needed. These are only pistols here for FaZe, and they're in this 5-on-4. Flamey's trying to hold for the cross. And with that smoke used earlier on, cutting off the mid to B, you've got to try and get across this one dry if you're FaZe. Bombs dropped over on platform as well, so the struggles are just beginning here for FaZe Clan. Boomich has even wrapped the tunnels and is coming in from behind, so they're very much hinging on NAVI giving away these kills too early on. See that Rain, the only guy who's gotten over, was trying to cross to get onto platform, but he can't survive the journey. Boomich now makes his presence known, and Cold gets put down shortly thereafter. So 9 on the board for FaZe. They deal with that B play, even though Cold is able to get them into the site. They can never actually get across with the bomb.
Yeah, those are fast rotations from NAVI, but I think the issue is the fact that the bombs drop behind the big box and that NAVI are watching both window and door. They're not letting FaZe do anything, and it's because FaZe just, yeah, like you said, they don't have the bomb on the site, so what can they even do? They have pistols, they can't win engagements, this round isn't live, and yeah, just a bit of a mad time, that B rush. NAVI have been doing a good job of not faltering, because while it's easy to go, oh yeah, you know, FaZe rushing B with pistols, NAVI should be fine. Like, all it takes is a couple of well-placed shots from FaZe, and suddenly, you know, they get 2 kills, they get guns, they smoke NAVI out the site, they plant, and they win the round. So those rounds can be lost very, very quickly. How ecos are often won. So NAVI, they do get the kills required, and they don't let it get out of control. Now we're back in.
Flamey's getting it on this secondary AWP. He loves taking it over to this B site. Gives him that much more versatility as well when it comes to helping out in middle. Aggressive play into the catwalk. And NiKo's going to be given that early kill. The flash from Simple actually leaves Electronic blind. And now with cat control taken, Simple back in the A site. That AWP is not something you want to be trifling with if you're FaZe. Flamey's taken his and gone aggressive into the tunnels. Gets the information that this side of the map looks clear. These have grinded to a halt. He got that opening kill, but they weren't able to follow up, and they lose NiKo. So now they're hoping that NAVI give something away, and they're not going to. They've fallen back into this very, very passive stance. The one potential liability here is that if this A play comes in, these rotations at B are a long way away. Boomich is just at long. So if you're FaZe, you're kind of like, if you're NAVI, you're playing for this this retake at the A site. Simple is going to try and hold down Cat. And then once he gets pressured, he can fall off to long, join Boomich. They can set up for a retake, but you're relying on Simple getting at least 1 on the cross here.
FaZe have 20 seconds, man. They need to go, and they need to go fast. Simple, he is in position, he is waiting, trying to avoid the flashes, but none come through, and so the shot certainly will. FaZe have 10 seconds. They've stopped at the corner. They've got to get past Simple. They've got to just run at him, and NiKo, or Brokey rather, getting dropped with the AWP. There's Cold lost on long, and that's going to be the round. BMAS can plant, but you know, as good as he's been, a 1-on-4, trapped in the site. They know where he is. They're coming from every position possible. BMAS, he's going to need to nail some shots now. He can't afford to let NAVI get set up. That's a good kill, but he's down to 10. And this one surely coming to a close.
Yeah, they're all just going to group up at ramp. They move in together. NAVI don't give BMAS any room to maneuver. 10 on the board now for NAVI as they look to make this comeback in the second half of play happen. Just 2 between them and FaZe. You think about the fact that this was 12-5 at one point in time. This is quite the turnaround from NAVI, and these slow defaults from FaZe, these kind of, you know, leaving it down to the last few seconds, not going their way. Yeah. They call an attack pause once again, but I don't know, they don't really have much to go off of that feels like it's been working.
Yeah, so think about it. Think about from FaZe's perspective right now, right? Like the long takes, they've traded well there, but they've never won the round off of it. They've never like committed to deep long takes. Simple has been wrecking them since he's had the AWP on cat plays. FaZe have only gone B on an eco, or multiple ecos rather, and NAVI have wrecked them every single time. I think that's the answer. FaZe have to go B. They've gotten close, they've gotten kills. They've never set up for a mid to B. Something like, you know, like a G2 classic, right? Or something that NAVI love to do, which is like smoke cat, drop someone into CT, go for a mid to B. You've got that CT player to either kill A rotates or kill that, you know, mid to B stop player for NAVI, and then FaZe can just go through the tunnels. Something like that could be nice. Try and, you know, fake towards A. Another round that isn't live here by the looks of things. But is it? Yeah, FaZe walking out mid. No, it's not live. So that's good. But yeah, I mean, if FaZe keep going slow defaults and holding in the 4-on-4s, it's not like Na'Vi are going to give you those kills. That's one thing that Na'Vi are really, really good at. In the mid-round, when kills have happened and players have to pick their solo spots and just, remain still on the CT side, Na'Vi are never a team to get aggressive and give away those kills. So, yeah, FaZe, they can't rely on Na'Vi's mistakes here. They've got to force some rounds out, as this has been quite the recovery, quite the comeback for Na'Vi in the second half. Perfecto with some internet problems. We've seen this one before, Harry. We have seen Mia drop out from Spirit and get replaced by Dima. Maybe Dima's around to fill in for Na'Vi, if needed. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But right now, this is no longer a FaZe game. This is no longer the clan in control. This is Na'Vi creeping back behind them.
See, and I kind of, I'd love to see them do what you prescribed, Hugo, which is an attempt at like one of these cat drops. I think that Na'Vi, right? They're playing on this A site, but they're very like hunkered down in this bomb site. They set up over at long early, right? And that's because FaZe have been giving them that fight a hell of a lot. It feels like, maybe you can catch a bit of a timing and try and get past Simple into CT. You can work some magic there. And I feel like the answers could reside at this B bomb site for FaZe. We've seen them get it close, but just never across the line on the back of these B plays. And, Na'Vi, it felt like coming into this second half, it was like they were running on fumes. They were just relying on getting this first round going their way. And that could often be the biggest challenge. But since then, they've just been streaking together rounds. Exactly what they needed to do to make this comeback happen. The money's now built up as well. It's like for Na'Vi fans and for the Na'Vi squad, this is a really good place to be in. Even though it was 12-5 down, you stumble back to your feet, you've built up money. Critically, you're not at this point where like, yeah, this comeback's sick, but you can just get reset. That's something that Na'Vi don't have to worry about. And so even if FaZe do find this round, it's really going to be a grind to get this game back in their favor. And this time around, they throw some utility out here towards long, but they set up in the B tunnels, looking like they do want to attempt this B play. Now, a bit of a change in this round is that Simple, instead of being inside of the A bomb site and instead of having this two-man hold of Flamey and Perfecto in B, it's Flamey here alone with Simple playing mid, available on a rotate. Perfecto dropped down off of Catwalk and has also rotated around now into this B site. So Na'Vi, they've read this well. They've got 3 players here. And if FaZe do try and commit to this, they're walking into a stack. Simple's AWP is going to ring on in with a kill. And that is the red flag immediately for FaZe, just to get away. Boomich bests Rain out at the long doors as well. And so FaZe, they're Simple with an incredibly quick flick. So quick, it didn't even register. He shuts down NiKo, and this leaves BMAS and Brokey, the dynamic duo, in the 2-on-5.
Yeah, I mean, like you said it yourself, Na'Vi, that was a read. That was just them being ahead of the game and knowing exactly what FaZe is going to do. It does feel like FaZe is running out of ideas, man. Like, just a basic B rush, and Na'Vi have 3 players ready to deal with it. Electronic just stalling as long as he can on the ramp. The plant will be allowed, but he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the money. He wants the win, and he wants this peak. I'm going to give it to him 2 for 1, and Electronic will bite back, but Brokey can't stop Boomich on long, and that's another retake for Na'Vi. Yeah, this is crazy. Like, Na'Vi are in great control, but FaZe, man, they've definitely run dry of ideas. Maybe go back to the long takes, right? But even in that round, Boomich, he kills a lurker on long right after they lose cold in B. So, yeah, nothing's working out for FaZe right now. You can see it. And even the money is a bit dry, too. This is enough to buy, and FaZe will certainly go for it. But right now, have they got any answers? This double was a great choice as well for Na'Vi. FaZe want to go B again. Are they just going to Hail Mary it? Okay, fair enough, right? Fair enough. All 5 players committing to the death.
Oh, the nades have done so much already. Flamey opening up, and he's got support from Perfecto at Car. The bomb's been spotted and dropped, but the kills do go even for the time being. We're into this 3-on-3. The bomb plant might get denied by that nade. Brokey brought down low. Luckily enough, it wasn't one of the low HP players having to plant that bomb. And so FaZe are given a moment to try and set up for this this 3-on-3 post plant. Brokey in the site. Ollie Simple out of the window. Na'Vi very, very heavily geared towards this tunnel side with Electronic and Boomich here. Brokey just waiting patiently. There's a double setup at Car. They were trying to do the bait and switch. But Brokey might have just won this entire round as him and BMAS, they lock it in for FaZe. It has been these two. It feels like just time and time again, pulling together to find rounds. And this one is no exception.
Yeah, Simple throws a sick Molotov from window that pushes a double Car setup out, but they just like swing together and deal with the tunnels ramp. What's nice about that B rush for FaZe is the value of rushing a site like that off of spawn, especially B on Dust 2, is that if you win it, if you trade, and like they did equally into a 3-on-3 and plant, you have so much utility for the post plant because you haven't wasted it. You haven't done anything else. Your entire round was about taking that B bomb site. So the players that didn't throw their Molotovs, didn't throw their smokes, well, they just cycled them out. You can see the reason Na'Vi set up double tunnel was a good idea because FaZe used 3 smokes on the doors, they used 2 Molotovs on the window, and there was just no way back in for Na'Vi. So really nice round for FaZe, but again, Harry, we're going to fall back into this problem that FaZe have been having in this T side, which is what can they rely on? Can they rely on that? Because Na'Vi, they read it 2 rounds ago, they triple stack it. FaZe, they do it back-to-back rounds. They go, you won't stack it again, Na'Vi, and Na'Vi didn't. But now Na'Vi might, and that will peel FaZe away. It's a mind game now. It's a mind game. FaZe looking like they want to take their long spawn, a good time to do so. But are Na'Vi ready for it? What gamble will Na'Vi make in this round? I think is the big question. Oh no, they're doing it again, Harry. Oh my, there's only one man here.
Na'Vi, they're thinking, yeah, there's no way they rush B again. But here's FaZe rushed in B again. Simple in the door. Can he find anything? Simple. He's got to give us something special here with this AWP. Smokes rain through. And Na'Vi, is this just a save? Oh, it's horrible call to have to make, but it's all they've been left with. They don't want to attempt the 4-on-5 because if they went for this round and they weren't able to get it over the line, they've got nothing in for the rest of this game. And that's the thing, Na'Vi, that they can't just, obsess over this one round. They've got to play for the long game. They'll give 14 over to FaZe. And now this series gets very interesting, right? Na'Vi, they're nearing breaking point. FaZe keeping 5 alive is great for them because it means that they dig themselves out of this hole that they could find themselves in if this round was a little bit closer. They're now good up until the future. And suddenly this kind of situation becomes Na'Vi on the grind. It's them having to try and whittle this FaZe bank account down to get back into the game. FaZe setting a very worrying precedent as well with these B plays. It might lead Na'Vi to have to dedicate more players into this bomb site.
FaZe just got the best B spawn they've had all game, Harry. This is the best B spawn they've had. Oh dear. Are they going to do it for a 4th round? I'm shocked Na'Vi didn't put 2 players there. They had just Flamey with an AWP. So yeah, I mean, FaZe doing it a 4th time in a row, I think would be a little rancid. And so yeah, they're going to move away from it, go lower instead. I would expect this to end B, but they're going to go elsewhere. Running through the mid-smoke. What a hero play for Brokey. That is bonkers. That doesn't make any sense. Yet it's found himself a kill. It's taken down Electronic, the top performer, alongside Simple on the other side. And right now, FaZe have a man advantage. They have not been able in this game to get away with a man advantage and fall back without being traded. So this is all in the palm of FaZe right now, looking to take match, series, and elimination points.
And this has put pressure on Na'Vi. You can see them looking to reclaim this man advantage. They're pressuring mid, and they weren't able to find a kill from it. Now, FaZe, they know, right? At this point, they know that they've got Na'Vi sweating. They've got Na'Vi looking to make a move, looking to make a play, and so they're just going to wait for the kills to come to them. Boomich offers it up over here at short. FaZe sat in a 5-on-3, commanding man advantage now. And Flamey, while he does tag NiKo up, it's not the killing blow. He's going to follow up with a frag on a BMAS, but BMAS takes down 1 in the meantime. And now this push comes on into the A site. There's no one here for Na'Vi. They're a little too far behind for Flamey and Simple. This has got to be the save. They give up match and series point to FaZe. Holding on to these 2 rifles at least means that Flamey and Simple can drop guns over. So you're going to have 4 rifles into this round, 5 maybe, If you forego some utility, it might have to be like a FAMAS or something like that, but it's not the end of the world. You still have a chance if you're NAVI.
Brokey, man, he has been indoctrinated with FaZe clan propaganda. He's running through smokes and quickscoping electronic with the AWP, Harry, like he's a pug. Like this game doesn't matter. Like there's not hundreds of thousands on the line, and he's just going to go for it. I mean, FaZe have turned this inexperienced player into a real champ.
Yeah, dude, but that's the other thing, right? Like FaZe, for me, I always think about this team, and they love to play like some pretty safe Counter-Strike. Like they do everything by the numbers, you know, like this kind of aggression in the beginning. I don't know, man. To me, it doesn't feel like a classic FaZe clan idea. And I love the fact that, you know, you can entrust the young guns with just making some Hail Mary play like that. You just send Brokey through the doors. And that's the thing. I've always thought with this FaZe squad, the thing that they have in abundance is firepower. And I love that they just let Brokey off the leash to go and get the openers. In this round, they try and give NiKo the AWP to go for the long spawn. Doesn't find a kill from it. So we'll return that AWP to Brokey. Brokey's there, like tapping his foot, waiting, checking his watch. Come on, NiKo, mate. Like, I get it. You know, you're pretty good, but I don't know if you've heard of me on this AWP. I'm something that a lot of people talk about, and with good reason. Brokey's looking into the long doors. FaZe, they're just waiting, and that's the thing. This makes a lot of sense. They're not feeling the pressure in the same way NAVI are right now.
Yeah.
On top of that, you know that you've kind of got NAVI squirming a bit. They've shown you a lot that they're desperately looking for these man advantages. They're desperately looking for these duels to go their way early on.
BMS has sold a B fake. He just threw a bunch of util into B. Now, firstly, NAVI a double B anyway, which has been a bit of a rare setup to see, especially with these B rushes for FaZe. So, yeah, FaZe's conditioning has worked wonderfully. And look at NAVI's lean as a result of BMS's utility. Simple falls out of A, and he goes to middle. This is going to mean that he's essentially useless while the execute comes in. He has to play for retake, and he's not got the gun for it. FaZe are going fast. They're not waiting around. They need this entry, though. The spray is messy. Rain converts it. Boomich drops cold, and he's going to go back in for more, trying to fight from the pit. The flash is late, but the kill is early, and BMS has got it to get FaZe up long. That bomb needs to cross, and Simple can put a stop to it. There's no smokes down.
They try and molly for the cross.
Oh, no.
He sees through the fire and flames, and the bomb gets dropped in the open. It is now a shooting gallery for Simple. He's put up 2. The bomb does get over, though. NiKo's retrieved it. A 2-on-3 for him and Brokey. The flash finds Brokey at long, and Flamey doesn't check it. Brokey gets 1. Does he want to go back in? Simple is on this angle, holding it down. NiKo up in the sight, catches Perfecto on the boost, and Brokey's going to follow up. FaZe, they get it done in 2. They take the victory over NAVI, and they will continue here. NAVI's time at DreamHack Masters draws to a close, and it's in a 2-0 fashion with FaZe taking it. They look good throughout that entire series. And what an ending. And that's the problem, right? With that boost at the very, very end, the moment Perfecto goes up on the boost and dies, they then know that Simple's an elevator as well, so Brokey just keeps holding that angle, and he doesn't give anything up. I mean, that was great from FaZe, especially as well from BMAS and Brokey. It felt like so many of those swing rounds came off the back of that terrible twosome in the FaZe squad. Yeah. They're such an exciting team to watch, Hugo. I don't know, man. That was a great series.
That's such a well-earned space now in the consolidation final for FaZe. Like, that was such a great game, man. The fact that they you know, in that second half, NAVI were coming back. NAVI had the solutions. They were shutting FaZe out of every play, every default. And then FaZe, 3 B rushes in a row, 2 of them successful. And then they make NAVI lean B for the rest of the game and then just start taking cat. I like that from FaZe. Really good game plan. They knocked NAVI out of the tournament. And FaZe clan, they got a lot to prove right now with some young guns in their team. BMAS, he was a top performer of the opening map. He looks splendid on the second as well. And we're going to see more of FaZe in this tournament. They have to fight big now. A rematch that they lost before. That'll be coming up in a day's time, I think. But for now, we move over to North America, Harry, where we have Liquid Gen.G waiting in the barrel. So stick around, check out the analyst desk and the post-game interviews, and see us for that next best of 3 in a minute.
Confidence is soaring if you are in the FaZe clan. Right now, you got to be feeling pretty damn good about your chances here at the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. Of course, when you get 2 maps and they go both 16-11 on Mirage and then Dust 2 subsequently, it all paints a pretty clear picture. FaZe Clan moving along. NAVI, you're going to have to try again another day because today was just simply not their day, regardless of the stat lines, regardless of anything that we look at here. This is not a NAVI day. I've got Jacob with me, and I've got Matthew as well. I think I've got to look this way. Look at you guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you got to do it.
Yeah,
Listen, I just want to take a second to say I was painfully wrong about this series, not only in the result, but also in the win conditions for FaZe. Sometimes it happens and you have to be humble about it. I did not see that 2-0 coming from FaZe, and I certainly did not see Brokey and Bemis being the two shining lights, the deciders, the dream crushers for NAVI. I did not see that one coming, and I am very excited about this game.
100% agree. What a game they played, especially Bemes, right? And I think the most impressive thing about his performance tonight was that his CT rating is the exact same or close to as his terrorist rating. He was playing well on both sides of the map. You know, normally you see a new player being implemented into a new lineup. You can imagine that, okay, you're getting into a new T side, you get new roles, and you're going to struggle a little bit. CT side, you can always hold up for your own if you're having a good game. He was playing well on both sides, so that was very impressive to see. Also want to give a quick shout out to Rain here. He completely fell out of the game in the second half, but in the first half, he was all over the place. I believe he was at 18-7 at a certain point, and he finished on 24 frags, so he didn't really go off from that point onwards, but in the beginning of the game, he was the reason why FaZe got off to such a strong start in Dust 2, which in the end was enough for them to close it out.
And not to mention, you know, the opening kills. We look at that stat line alone, 17-10 over on the map of Dust 2, and that's all in FaZe's way. So that kind of paints a picture as to who was setting the tone, who was really kind of pressuring these fights where they wanted it. And you're right, Bemis, that guy's nuts.
Yeah, he really was. And the end of that second half of FaZe, you could truly see the brute force that they can bring to the table. And I'm going to ask the question when we get the chance in the interview, because who the hell called these 3 B rushes in a row when they were lacking solutions, but they didn't exactly know how to pierce that NAVI defense? It did look like NAVI was in control. It looked like they were doing that comeback. They were putting the rounds together. And then, again, the heavy hitters, the brute force. There you have it. One of these examples. Bemis leading the charge, opening the B like it's a slice of Swiss cheese. That was very impressive.
Swiss cheese, now, no bias. What is it with you two? We got a Dane in here, and we got a Swiss guy in here, and then the next thing you know, God, good gracious. Anyway, FaZe move on, and they stay alive inside of the bracket. That's what we need to kind of focus on, because I almost feel like not a whole lot of people are really rallying behind the FaZe train. If you think about it in terms of roster change here, instabilities there, inconsistency moreover. So for FaZe Clan, this is looking up. For NAVI, this is out. They're done. It's over. This is the end of their run. Where do we predict NAVI goes with this? What do we think that they should be taking away?
I think first and foremost, we can say that NAVI are getting better. You know, it was looking quite rough for them in the beginning of this whole online period. I mean, the road to Rio performance they had, where they exited out of the group stage in the CIS, you know, qualifier, that was just horrendous. So NAVI is getting better, and Simple, of course, still at a high level. Electronic, slowly but surely starting to step up his game. I think it's a more or less positive result for NAVI, but then again, you hold them up to a high standard. You think NAVI is a team that is currently ranked #1 in the world. Well, they can't really be happy with finishing 4th at a DreamHack. So it's okay, it's just not good enough for NAVI just yet.
I'll be a little bit harsher, I think. I think this result should not be okay for NAVI at all. The fact that they lose 2-0 and how they lost it, I felt like they were out of solutions on the T side of Dust 2. On the CT side, they couldn't see this adaptation coming. They were not proactive enough. Sure, I mean, I was completely baffled and mind blown by Simple's performance yesterday, and that is always a great thing to take with you in the back pocket, but it's not enough. Jacob pointed out, they are at the top of the rankings right now. They're supposed to be on the top of that damn mountain we talk about, but that just wasn't the case today, and these types of performance, they lose that spot very quickly.
Yeah, strange times all the way around. And, you know, if we're lucky, which I'm not saying we're lucky, but I'm saying we're lucky, we are going to get the opportunity to hear from FaZe at some point here in the very near future. In fact, it may even be a NiKo lingering around somewhere in the background, trying to figure out how exactly it is that he wants to jump on camera with us. But for us, it's pretty clear cut. FaZe get to go through, NAVI are done, and that's going to be the end of the run for NAVI. A storyline and ultimately a team that we've had our eyes on since Katowice, since one of the last lands of the year, and have had high hopes for, high expectations, and not just Simple.
Yeah, and I think that's a storyline we can pick up again, and we can definitely conclude now that NAVI, what we saw from them in IEM Katowice 2020 was something spectacular. It was a performance that I think they will have a very hard time replicating that performance, right? They were absolutely beasting everyone in that playoff, making G2 look like a silly team. They were making Astralis looking like a top 10 team in the world. They were just by far the better team at that tournament ever since that tournament, they have not been nowhere near that level. So I think it's fair to conclude that what we saw in Katowice wasn't necessarily a fluke, but it's not the version of NAVI we can expect for the future. Of course, when you have Simple on the lineup, of course, when you have Electronic on the lineup, there's always going to be that one-off tournament where everything just clicks. But where are they going to find the consistency, and how good are NAVI, when it comes to consistency? Is it a top 3? Is it a top 5 team? I don't really know just yet. I think it's still a big question mark to me.
Maniac, what do you think in terms of, top tier? We look at NAVI, and now that they have stumbled a few times and they've shown us that they are vulnerable and moreover, on some days, just straight out, flat out weak. Where would you place them in terms of a big scale of things, a world ranking almost?
I think considering the talent there is on that lineup and the map pool, anything below top 5 would be disingenuous. I think top 5 is definitely where they belong. My problem is to make it from top 5 to top 2 or top 1 consistently. I cannot pinpoint the one domain they need to improve. I have a hard time picturing the win conditions because I feel like I always go back to Simple and Electronic, and it has to go deeper than that. It cannot just be these 2 players shining. So sure, I could just give you one of the most lamest stereotype. Hey, everyone needs to be a little better on the lineup. Yeah, we all say that all the time. But just for this one team, I cannot pinpoint where the issue is specifically. Is it an in-game leading thing? I think if I could listen to them when they were playing, I could maybe put my hand on something like an issue that they have when they are actually in the thick of things. But so far, I have a hard time making sure, or rather describing exactly what it is they need to make a...
I have a theory if you want to hear it quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simple and Electronic, those are 2 of the best players in the world, but also 2 players who take quite a lot of space from the rest of the guys. So you need your role players to perform at a very high level, and you need your role players to be able to perform at a high level without getting catered to at all. You need a Perfecto to be good on his own, you need Flamey to be good on his own, and you need basically the role players around those 2 to be good, holding their own. And I don't think that NAVI's role players right now is performing up to the level they should be, because Electronic is performing, Simple is performing, and yes, it's a two-way street in the sense that they're taking a lot of space away from Flamey, they're taking a lot of space away from Perfecto, but so should they. They're 2 of the best players in the world, so the role players you have around those guys need to perform at a higher level. And then as Maniac is saying, the in-game leading role, we don't really know whether Boomage or not is a great in-game leader. We don't understand what they're saying when they're communicating, but by the looks of it, there's room for improvements.
What, you guys can't understand what they're saying when they're talking in team comms? Don't
It's not like when you're talking and I'm talking.
Yeah,
yes.
It's kind of the same feeling, isn't it? Hold on, I got to answer the phone real quick. Hello? Somebody there?
Hello, I think NiKo is here. I'm not sure though.
Hey, NiKo. Trace here. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Congratulations today on a victory. You come into this, you 16-11 NAVI twice over. Were you expecting a little bit more resistance out of the NAVI side?
Well, I was expecting a closer game. I was expecting like 3 maps versus them, especially because we are not really... we didn't perform the way we wanted the last couple of days, but today we actually showed up, and I think that's the result why we went into 2-0. And obviously NAVI did not perform up to their level. So yeah, it's just I'm happy that we finally started playing good again, because we had a really bad game against Big, and this means a lot for the getting revenge tomorrow.
So before my esteemed analyst crew jump in here, and while we watch some of your highlights, which I'm sure you can enjoy yourself, I want to ask you, as sort of a guy that's found himself steering the ship over there, do you think that your personal gameplay takes an impact when you switch and transition to an IGL sort of role? Do you feel like you have to put more hands on and micromanaging?
Yeah, that's what every IGL is doing. I mean, that's the problem we had before. We don't have that much now, because we found the structure, the way we want to play. So now it's way easier for me to call. I know what everyone is doing. Everyone knows what they're doing in the default. So I don't have to pinpoint everything and just say what everyone should do. So it's way easier now to play for me and call in the same time. So that's why you don't see me too often underperforming.
NiKo, it wasn't your best game today, without it being bad by any means, but 2 players who performed at a very high level was Bimas and Brokey. Try to put a few words on what they're doing so well for you guys already now.
Yeah, Bimas really stepped up a lot. I think this game is gonna mean the world to him. He really needed a game where he's gonna play really good, and he's gonna show his potential, because he was really shaky due to his not bad performances, but just not the performance he expected from himself, right? And when you go in such a big team and such a big event, and you don't perform the way you want, you lose the confidence. And I'm really glad that he stepped up today massively, and he's the big reason why we closed out Mirage, and obviously Brock is the big reason why we won on Dust 2 as well. And it's just, for me, I'm really impressed the way Bimas approach the team, like how much he's working just to like get used to all the roles, all of head. He's watching demos all the time. He's doing everything he can to learn as fast as possible, and we are not pressuring him like in any way. We just let him do whatever he wants, and yeah, I'm just happy that he played amazing today. And then Brocky, we are already kind of used to him. He started playing good way back before, so yeah.
Just jumping back to that Dust too, I want to talk about the B rushes that you did on the T side, because it felt like you were a little bit out of solution, and suddenly, like magic, you destroyed them on Bs. Can you explain to us a little bit the idea behind it? Someone spot a weakness or something?
Yeah, the only reason why I called Beers is because they stacked with 3 guys B. Last round, I was like, there's no way they're going to stack again, and I was like I thought they were going to go into 4A, because usually like when you stop a team on one side, you try to stack another one. So that's the reason why I called the Beers, and that's why we called the B Expo right after, because we knew they were not gonna be there more than 2 guys. And the next time we exploded B, Flame was alone on B with top. So that's why we won those 2 rounds. I mean, it was not just like, oh yeah, we have a spawn for Beers, let's just B rush, but it's because they stopped us the round before, so that's why I called the B rush.
Nice.
So I'm looking at the big picture of things here, and it was Nexa actually. You have some friends over in G2, right?
Yeah, I think I have some cousin there, but I'm not sure though.
Yeah, it's something like that. Anyway, G2 said they want to meet NAVI in the finals to determine who's the world #1. Well, guess what? That can't really happen anymore, can it?
That can't happen.
What do you think the odds are? And I'm not saying this is going to happen. What do you think the odds are that we see the cousin versus cousin?
That's the thing. Like, we need revenge over Big, then we need revenge over G2, because we lost to them in the road to Rio. So we really like want to beat those 2 teams, especially Big, because we lost so badly to them, and I feel like the result is never going to happen again. So, but G2, obviously they look great. Like, they really look good. They're even like in the bootcamp. They're like the only team that's like actually went to a bootcamp, I think, together with Fnatic. So it's really impressive that they managed to travel, that they like group up still, and they want to practice together. So yeah, they found themselves. Hunter and Nexa are playing really good together with Kenny, and they just like, I feel like their roles fit perfectly together in that team, and that's why they're playing so good.
So NiKo, I'll leave you with this one last question, man, and it's kind of like I wouldn't say insider information, but I'm definitely curious as to who's winning scrims. Often we talk about who's winning matches and not who's winning all the scrims, because they're not always the same thing, not always the same teams.
Like between us and G2 or in general?
But let's say the teams that you play as FaZe and scrimmage against and practice against, who are the ones that are like, oh my God, these guys are nuts?
Honestly, like, I don't know. Like, we are winning a lot of scrims.
Okay.
But
You're that team.
So you are those guys. Yeah, that makes sense.
We are the practice heroes. No, but I'm not sure though. I can't like take out one team and say like they are really good on practice right now. Because like now, like everything is online, so there's not a big difference. I don't know. It's Bad Lions surprised me a lot on practice. For example, they play like very explosive and very fast and versatile. And in practice, like it's even worse, right? You never know what to expect out of them. So yeah,
push every smoke, always running straight
Boobski
through everything.
Insane. Boobski's insane what he is doing. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, cool, man. I appreciate the insight right there. That was just, I was personally curious, because it's always something that we used to talk about back in the day. I'm gonna let you go, NiKo. I'm sure you've got bigger plans for the rest of your day at about 5 o'clock, 4:30. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Cool. And that is NiKo from the FaZe clan, as if he needs an introduction, the man that is steering the wheel, if you will, over there towards FaZe. Now, for them, they have steered it, and they have crashed the course of NAVI, which is who we're going to be able to talk to next, and that's going to take just a few seconds. So what did we learn here from what NiKo was saying?
I think we learned that FaZe clan is practice heroes. You know, they're winning all the practice, and that's always a good thing. I think we learned that. I mean, NiKo is. We question his in-game leading skills, right? And I like he's straightforward with it. Like, he's not overthinking stuff. I don't think NiKo is the guy who's laying, 3 a.m. in the morning thinking about this strat. How do we nail it down? He's more like a guy that plays on intuition, and I think that's a cool way of doing it as well. It's not like Glaive's way of doing in-game leading is the only way of making it work, or MSL for that matter, who's just laying constantly in bed at night and thinking, how do we make this strat work? More like having the intuition, more like having the intuition and just going by whatever you feel is always a good thing. So that's what I like about NiKo, and if you have to give him a compliment when it comes to in-game leading, I think that is one of his biggest assets.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Maniac, but we'll hold that thought. I was just really curious how you know that, Jacob, about what people are thinking.
I've seen it live, man. I've seen it live.
In the meantime, I think we bring in Blade from NAVI. Hello, Blade, and welcome back. I feel like it's been a while since we spoke, and today obviously didn't go well for NAVI, and now would not be the right time for me to ask you about your up dog. I know that much. I don't think we ever got to clear the air on that one, but either way, it's been a rough day for you guys, so we'll let that settle. Talk to me about NAVI, not only in this matchup, but when things get chaotic, when things turn into chaos around the server. How do you guys go about dealing with that? Is it Boomage?
Today it was really tough in terms of calling, and it was a little bit chaos in the game. And we know the problem, and we will try to fix it as soon as possible. But today it was not our even middle game, average game. It was really bad sometimes in calling. So not that we used to, and not that we can show. Not our best game.
Blade, I have a question, and it may be a little bit tough to answer, but I have sort of like a theory, or I have an idea in my head that when you have Simple and Electronic on a lineup, of course you need to cater to those guys a lot. You need to give them all the space they need. Do you think that hurts Flamey, Perfecto, and Boomage and their individual performance, or is that just part of the game plan for you guys?
No, I don't think so, because there's no space for somebody must be a playmaker in the game, and
sure.
We can't switch it from game to game. It's much better when people are used to their roles, in-game roles, and they try to improve them all the time and get experience. So I don't think that it's a problem, but mostly the problem was, I think, in calling, and some players are a little bit nervous sometimes. We're still trying to figure out why it's happening, because it's not a problem on LAN usually, but online we have 2 games fine, and then one game players just playing not the things that we spoke about, they don't stick to the game plan. They try, for example, when you're playing and you're practicing something and you're doing your stuff, and then when you start nervous, you're doing something different, something that you didn't do before at all. And that's the problem. So I think a little bit it's a psychological problem, but we need to figure out how to fix it. I think so. Online, it's usually happens online recently.
I would like to talk about Perfecto for a second, because for us, we see a new player come in and we try to evaluate his performance. I would like to have your opinion on Perfecto. How does he fit in the team? Where does he have to improve? Are you happy with him at the moment? What's your take on Perfecto at the moment?
In terms of his experience, I think he performs really well, and I really satisfied with his performance. But he's still young and inexperienced, and sometimes he can do mistakes that usually Tier 1 players don't do on big matches. But I think he's evolving really fast, and he has huge talent, and he's doing fine. I think with each game, with each match, he will become much better, and he is a promising talent. Absolutely.
All right.
So let's leave it right here for just 1 second, and let me just ask you, because I'm going to let you go. But when you've taken a loss here to FaZe Clan, FaZe get to move on to play big, and then there's a shot at the grand finals outside of that. How do you predict the big FaZe game going?
Big FaZe.
Last
time it was really easy for big, right? 16-6, something like that. And I think FaZe is teams that can do some improvements, and they can analyze the loss, and they will come up with something new for sure. And I will bet on FaZe, but big is much better in terms of preparation for specific matches, and in terms of game plan. And FaZe is much better individually, and star players can just destroy big, for example, like we yesterday destroyed Mad Lions. So it can be different. If Big can stop this pressure from FaZe's skill, you know, like a huge avalanche of skill, and if they will stop this pressure and they will at least out aim them first like 5-7 rounds, and they will see that it's equal game. As far as I remember, Xandaris was like destroying. There was such crazy highlights, like FaZe didn't play their best aim game. You know, like they don't aim like they usually do, and that was a problem. So if they will now come up with like with another position, like from strong position, I think the FaZe has a lot of chances to win.
Cool. So I'm going to take that as a FaZe vote, and we're going to get you out of here. Thank you so much for your time, Blade. And obviously, send my commiseration to the team, to the squad. As you know, you're obviously eliminated here. So we'll be catching up with you. We'll be seeing you around.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, and just like a Blade,
Nice.
we've cut away from that. And it's unfortunate for the side of NAVI, who did put up a fight. And you hear some of the struggle that they're having there, some of the pressures that they're, you know, that Blade is alluding to, even is the word I'm looking for. He's kind of laying it all out there, saying that nerves are still an issue, which is kind of strange. Either way, maybe perhaps we can take a better look at some examples of that via Stats Helix. Maniac, what do you think?
We could. You know me, I always like a little bit of a Stats Helix over there. So we're gonna dive deep into round number 8 here, and I wanted to talk about FaZe proactivity and sometimes Navi having trouble on how to react. So we're gonna see here about 50 seconds, NiKo with the AWP peeking towards Catwalk. He get the kill onto Simple. That's the first frag that is done. Electronic will do a pretty good job at trading against Rain, and here becomes the problem. Here starts the issue with Navi. It's a 4 versus 4. They should have all the advantages, but look, they don't exactly know what they're doing. Couple of utilities thrown over there on the A side. They're doubting maybe they should go back to B. Not exactly sure. It looks like now they have decided to go back to B. Coldzera takes the information middle. That's all they needed. Look at this. All the cavalry now is rotating back to middle. Meanwhile, Coldzera and Brokey, they're already onto B side. NiKo will get the kill onto Electronic, and with it, you can feel like the round is already over. It's 10 seconds. Everyone from FaZe Clan is already in a position. And for Navi, it just feels like you were one step behind the whole time. And now we can move to the players' POV just to see how easy it was for them to actually get these kills, because you have the initiative here coming from NiKo, and he's done that time and time again on the CD side. I was very, very proud, very nice of him. The Electronic gets the trade, sure, and this kills list just sells it all. There's no more middle lurk. Now Coldzera is just sitting on the car. He's having a nice mojito or whatever it is that you want to have, and they take him down nice and easy. So this round here, I think, was a good example of FaZe being one step ahead of Navi all the time, reading them, retaking the information, and smacking them.
Jacob, I would love to just see you smile one time for the camera. That's all I'm asking. That'll do. That's good enough for me. Anyway, we can talk a little bit about the brackets and show you as to what's come up or what's been around, but we've already done that. So I think what the best thing to do, the best course of action at this point in time in particular, is to take a break. It's going to be a rather extended one, but we do come back with a little bit of North American action in the size, in the smell, and in the flavor of Liquid taking on Gen G when we return here at the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. Keep your eyes on the timer. BRB, everybody.